Pascal Siakam said that the next thing he wants to be is a top 5 player in the league. We like the confidence, but is it rooted in fact or foolishness? Entering his 7th season in the NBA, the 28-year-old Siakam is smack dab in the middle of his prime, coming off an All-NBA season where he was arguably a top 15 player in the league. Making the jump to number 5, though, that's just not going to happen. With Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Trae Young, and many others also in their primes, it's tough to see Siakam leapfrogging those guys on any official or unofficial ranking of the 5 best players in the NBA, especially because most of those guys are younger than Siakam. But having a top 5 season? Now that's possible. In order to do that, Siakam would not only need to refine the areas of his game that he's already good at, but also add some new skills. But continuing development is nothing new for Siakam, who has improved in some shape or form every season he's been in the league. Think of it like this. Siakam came into the NBA after being drafted 27th overall in 2016 and immediately started for Dwayne Casey's Raptors. At that point, Siakam's responsibilities on the court were simple. Run the floor, play with a lot of energy, do the little things, and only try to score on fast breaks. Slowly but surely though, Siakam developed his skill set. His role expanded, and his game today is unrecognizable compared to his rookie season. He's now an offensive engine for a playoff team. He can apply pressure to the rim, settle into a potent mid-range jumper, use his impressive handle and size to maneuver in tight spaces, and create opportunities for his teammates as one of the premier playmaking bigs in the league. His development into an all-star was the 95th percentile outcome for him as a player. In short, this is not the player he was supposed to be coming in, and so far, he has squeezed almost every ounce of juice out of his game possible to become a very impressive and successful player, I might add. So there's no reason to think he can't keep doing that while also positioning himself to at least have one season where he's a top 5 player in the league and in the MVP conversation. Remember how DeMar DeRozan went absolutely ballistic last season and shoehorned himself into the MVP debate in his 13th year in the league? Who's to say Siakam can't do something similar? But what would he need to do to get there? First and foremost, he'd need to improve his outside shot. Siakam shot just under 35% from 3 on only 3 attempts a game last season. His career best was during the 2018-2019 season, the year he took home Most Improved honors, shooting 36% on over 6 attempts a night. But that percentage dip can be attributed to him taking fewer catch-and-shoot threes and more pull-up attempts, with the ball in his hands now as the primary creator for the Raptors. He has had some success there in the past though, hitting 36% of his pull-up shots in the 2019-2020 season. But last season, he shot 25% on pull-up threes, and that limits the kind of space he has to operate on offense. He also shot 48% on corner threes last season, which ranks him in the 89th percentile for his position. And if he can put up more attempts from there, Siakam could see the uptick in scoring necessary to become one of the league's elite scorers. If the threes start falling, or if he can just shoot more from there anyways to keep the defense honest, it would open up more room for him to get to the areas of the court that he wants to. There are also 2 other things that should let Siakam's game blossom even more in the coming years. First, the Raptors' newfound approach to make him a primary ball handler and playmaker for the team. Head coach Nick Nurse said during training camp that there will be more on-ball responsibilities for Siakam this season, with Fred VanVleet assuming more of an off-ball role. That should bode well for Siakam, who was a more efficient isolation scorer than Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and Paul George last season, and had a 66.7% effective field goal percentage as the ball handler in pick and rolls. Second, with the addition of Otto Porter Jr., a dead-eye marksman from 3, and the improvements of Precious Achiuwa and Scotty Barnes from behind the arc, Siakam should, in theory, have more room to operate than he ever has as a number 1 option. More space plus more opportunity is all a recipe for Siakam's game to be at its best. Even his teammates are already talking him up for this season. And while he likely won't become a capital T top 5 player in the league, it wouldn't be out of the question for him to have a monster season that, for 1 year at least, puts him top 5 in the NBA in production.